Last video, we took a wide email or a wide coupon. So it was 600 pixels wide. So here's what that coupon kind of looked like. Of course, I've manipulated a little bit of the text and stuff. And then we took it and made it narrow. So I think it went down to 250 pixels wide. Well, when it squishes like that, I want you to think about the way I've got this code and the coupon divided here in the in CodePen. The way I've got it divided is sometimes it shows a struggle that people have, which is stuff that I want people to see, stuff that I want people to interact with, namely this button, falls outside of the view of the person's normal window of view in their device, whether it's their tablet, their phone, or even their laptop. So you might ask, how do I get that call to action button to get them to do stuff, to get them to actually click it or to tap it? Well, you kind of need them to see it before they can interact with it. There is some debate that things that fall, what we consider below the fold, in other words, below that first screen or below that first scroll, may not get clicked as often as if they levitated a little higher. So in your information architecture, in your information hierarchy, you may want to try and give some tests to, should I put the button higher or lower in the layout? So let's do that real quick. Here we've got our hero image. That's this. We've got the next table is this service savings banner. That's this right here. The next part is our headline or our secondary headline, which is the secondary details of the offer, or the kind of explicit offer of $89.98 oil change, oil filter. And then we have kind of a little bit more information. Well, you know what? What I want to do is I want to put that button between this text and this text right here. Well, it just so happens it's right here. You're going to get very accustomed to coming in and saying, where is that text? Well, check it out. It just so happens it's this TR table row that is directly beneath this table row. So in theory, if all we do is cut this out, that's Command or Control X on your keyboard, and go just above that TR, and we paste it in, we'll see that button appears right here. So now, as I have this offer on this screen and it's now below, it's made so that it scrolls off the page, my button is still right here. It's still right in view even as soon as the page loads for the viewer, okay? Remember how I was talking about in Sublime, you can place your cursor and then just scroll straight down, and you can see where those breaks are naturally. That's kind of how I did that, is I just understood that there's code that's kind of got natural breaks in the code, and I look for that. Part of your job in learning to code is getting familiar with that structure and using tools like Freeformatter so that you get that structure formatted and neat and tidy so that it's easier for you to navigate. If this was all one text block, then it would be impossible to find that. All right, so take a few minutes, move some stuff around by grabbing a table row and moving it around. In some cases, try moving just a table div or table division and move that around. See if that helps you understand how I can create a call to action and move it above or below that scroll line and get people to potentially click on it. Now, let's imagine now you've gotten this client happy by putting the button above or below. Let's say that your client is wanting to ask a very specific question. will the button being below that scroll line impact our click-through? This is where some of that design thinking about the process comes into play. In this case, you could actually create two versions of this coupon. One where the button is below that scroll. Let's put it back in. All right. Right there. Okay. We've got this version where the button is right here. All right. And then I take it out. Let's grab that back out again. So I make version 1, I save it, and I call that version A. Then I cut it out. I put it into a new location, let's say here, or maybe the change I want to make is not necessarily location. Maybe it's something like color. I want to go C4 right there. So I make it a kind of a bright blue color versus bright red. Let's see here, go back to bright red. So now I have my A version is red, my B version is blue. And then you save both of these versions and you put them onto the web. You can create code that will actually choose one or the other, and it will randomize that selection. For half of your audience, it will present the blue button version. For the other half of the audience, the red button version. Or it'll be the version with the button up high, the button down low. That is called A/B testing, where you have two versions, two similar enough versions that you're isolating exactly what you're testing, like this button color, but you're testing it in such a way that you can isolate that and understand which one gave you better performance. And if the red button version is the one that gives you better click-through, then of course you're going to say, hey, we learned something. Our red button does a better job than the blue button. And you can take this, just these simple things like changing the color of a button and go which one works better, okay? Try out that stuff. Try out two different versions, bring them to class, and then we all get to look and vote and say, well, which one do you think gets you to do something faster, right? So try that out. Give me some thoughts on it and bring some stuff to class for us to talk about.